Hello, I'm Charles Gross.
I'm Miriam Gross.
Welcome to this year's Norpac mission to Washington.
Fun fact: 99.9% of people in the United States of America do not wake up in the morning to scan the front page of the New York Times and think to themselves, how does this affect Israel?
Today, you are joining over 1,000 other Norpac members and will be meeting with over 90% of the Congress.
When you meet with your members of Congress, let them know about those numbers. They're impressive.
And let them know that we are the largest political action committee advocating for a stronger relationship between the United States and Israel.
Remember, unlike our friends at AIPAC, we're advocates, not lobbyists.
On the day of the mission, make sure you're prepared. Come to the mission familiar with the issues you'll be discussing with the members of Congress and the members of Congress you'll be meeting with.
While you're on the bus, take the time to get to know the other members of your group and decide who will present which talking point.
Once you have decided who will say what, take the time to practice your presentation.
Sure, it sounds great in your head, but we won't be communicating telepathically.
Just because we're amateurs doesn't mean we can't look like professionals. By the way, if you don't want to say anything, that's fine too. Just showing up counts.
However, there may come a time when you find yourself with a last-minute issue to present or different members of Congress than you expected to be meeting with. In general, be prepared, but be prepared for the occasional curveball.
It is important to come to your meetings dressed in business attire. Pretend you're going to a job interview. A really important job interview. It is also important that we be on time for our meetings. Remember, security is tight at congressional buildings. It can take 15 minutes just to get through the door. So, hope for this,
but prepare for this.
Keep in mind that the House buildings are connected via a tunnel in the basement. This can save you the trouble of having to go outside and through security again.
Always be on time for your meetings with a member of Congress. Remember, they can be late, but we cannot.
As often as not, you will be meeting with the member of Congress's aide. Don't be worried or disappointed. The aides often know more about the issues than the member of Congress, and the member of Congress often relies on the aide's input to make decisions.
Plus, that aide may be a future member of Congress, his or herself.
Always remember to be polite. Address the member of Congress as Congressman, Congresswoman, or Senator. Refer to the President as the President, not that so-and-so in the White House. Unless you're using your cell phone to enhance your presentation, it should be turned off. A member of Congress can take a phone call or check a text during a meeting. We cannot. If you're expecting an important call or a message, step outside.
It is always helpful to find out as much as you can about the people you will be meeting with in advance. It helps you when you're dealing with the member of Congress, and it will make a good impression on them to know that you did your homework. Don't dwell on what you found, though. Stick to the talking points.
Remember, we are here as representatives of Norpac, so only discuss the talking points, not the economy, not the environment, etc. If you are asked a question and are not sure of the answer, simply say, I don't know. This is much better than giving a wrong answer, and it gives you an opportunity to follow up with the member of Congress or the aide. Members of Congress have a lot of issues to keep on top of, so don't be surprised if you know more about a given issue than the member of Congress or the aide. I once had an aide ask me in all seriousness, what does PLO stand for? So we are not only here to advocate, but to educate.
In that vein, there may come a time when the aide or congressperson may know more than you, or at least as much as you about an issue. That's okay. Go through it anyway and say thank you at the end. In fact, always say thank you. Politicians like to be acknowledged for their work. Don't argue with them if they disagree, and don't worry if the member of Congress is not on board for all of our issues. Remember, nobody scores 100% of the time.
If you find yourself running low on time, or if the people you are meeting with would like to discuss the issues further, split the group in two. Have one half remain, while the other half goes to the next meeting.
It's a good idea to work out who would stay and who would go in advance. Also, don't forget to exchange business cards with the member of Congress and or their aide. Make sure to send a thank you letter. Try and do it when you get home the night of the mission or the next day. 3 weeks later, make a follow-up phone call just to make sure there are no questions or loose ends.
The idea is to form a relationship with the member of Congress. That way, if a situation arises where we need immediate action, you have someone who knows you and will return your phone calls.
Today, we follow in the footsteps of Jewish advocates such as Moshe, Queen Esther, and anyone who stood up for the plight of Soviet Jewry.
Like them, we too can make a very important difference. And now let's look at the talking points for this year's mission.
Good luck!